So now that we're done with the About page, as you can see here, and we go to Home, and everything's working fine here, we're ready to tackle the Products page. Let's go take a look at that in the Adobe XD file. All right, so we're just going to scroll over here, and you'll notice that this has 3 products in it, and it's very similar to the owner and the co-owner. Now this video should be pretty short because I already showed you how you can copy and paste and just change a few things, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But first off, we're going to change what needs to be changed as far as just the page of products, which is the products text here, the active salmon collar up here, and also the title of the page. Let's go do that really quick. So I'm going to close down our style sheet for right now. And remember that I'm just going to change this about. I'm going to do a file save as. And remember that if you go up to the top, you want to name it exactly the same as you did here in your navigation. Matter of fact, I just double clicked that and copied it. Then I'm going to do a file save as, and then just paste that so it's exactly identical, and we're going to hit save. And you'll notice that it should show up here on the left-hand side. All right, and now we have products. So with that, all we need to do is change the title up here at the top. We're going to say products. Okay, remember we need to change the active. Okay, let's get rid of that extra space there, and we need to put that on the products page. And the last thing down here at the bottom is we need to put products. All right, so everything is set. Let's take a look at this and see what it looks like. Go back over here, and if we click products, now it works. Okay, notice products is up here, but as we scroll, it will move with the page, and this looks identical to our XD file. Now, because this is moved down a little bit, it's kind of misrepresented because if you played it and went full size, this would have to be up here on the screen. So we want this more to be like right here so you can see it all the time. Now you'll notice that in our products page, we need to change this content in here. Let's change that real quick, and it should be relatively easy. Okay, now I've closed these 2 down. Remember, this is the image title description. Okay, we have 2 in there. I'm going to expand the first one. And if we go to our XD file and see what's first, we have this butter, and then we have the butter almond soap. So I'm just going to copy that. And that's where the title is going to be. Instead of the owner, it's going to be butter almond soap. Okay, and it's just going to be this image right here. And if you double clicked on it, you could figure out what the image would be. But we're just going to change this right here. And it should say butter almond soap, and make sure you change that here, soap. And then we just need the description, which is right here. And I'm going to just copy it out of the XD so it's identical, and put that right here. And we save that. And let's go take a look at our products page and see what that looks like right now. Now we've got a few issues with our image here for the product, and you'll know that it's being taken off of the page, right? So we need to probably fix this somehow and maybe change the class on it or something. Let's just add a couple more of these, products and see what happens here. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to minimize this one. I'm going to open this one back up. Okay, I'm going to open up the image holder. And here I'm going to change it. Let's see what it looks like. This one is the rose gold soap. So we're going to change that image. And this is probably something like rose gold soap. And we're going to just change this again to rose soap. And the title description here, again, we're just going to copy this. And we're going to copy that. And this is just to make sure that it stays exactly the same. Now let's see what this one looks like compared to the XD file. Now you'll notice the image is doing the exact same thing as it was up here. Okay, but it still looks pretty close to what it should be other than the image. Now one last thing I want to do is I want to copy this last one down because we only had 3, so I'm going to get all 3 of them on the page and then I'm going to fix them. Right? So instead of this right here, the image holder and the rose gold, this last one is luxury soap. Okay. Copy again. And here it is, luxury soap. I'm going to copy this, paste it down here. Okay. And then up here, I'm going to change rose gold. This is probably going to be called something like luxury soap. And let's put luxury soap here. Okay, now since we have all of that, we need to change the image here to luxury. Oh, I've already done that one. Sorry, I'm moving too fast here. Okay, so we've got everything changed. Let's take a look at our page, see what that looks like. And now this soap down here worked, but the rest of them didn't. So, but the page looks pretty good other than these 2 classes right here. And you notice that they really are just moved up, right? So, and the reason why they're moved up is because we added those -60 margins to those 1 images. Well, how can we fix that really easy? Well, the way you can do that, and let's see how they look. This one's okay. This one needs to be brought down. And the way we can do that is by adding another class. What's going to end up happening is we need to override this margin top somehow, and that's an image holder. And if we look over here and we just open up one, notice how I have 1, 2, 3 for all of our products. We're just going to start up here. Notice that we have image holder, okay, and then we have the image. Well, we might have to just change this to image product holder and then override the image. And then we're not going to change the class really that much, and I'll show you what I mean. So notice we have image holder. So maybe in these 2 right here, I'm going to copy these 2, the image holder. I'm going to place these down below where they should be. And remember, I'd like to keep them in order of home, about, and now we're in products. So I'm going to put this down here. And instead of image holder, how about we put image prod holder? And down here we need to do the same, prod holder, and we're going to change the image in there. And the only thing, remember, that we're going to override is basically this. And I'm going to take it off for just a second, right? And we just need to move this image prod holder, and we're going to change that to basically, instead of this image holder, we're just going to change it to image prod holder. And we're going to change those only on the ones that need it. Okay. And now let's go to our product page and see if it looks any different. Now you'll notice that these are moving down a little bit. Okay. But not enough. If we move to our XD file, let's see what happens. Still 224 by 224. Okay. But it still needs to be moved down. So what we're going to end up doing is coming back, and now that we have those 2 in place, we can add a margin top and see what happens. Okay, before we had a negative, right? So let me just undo that. What happens if we add a positive and we say something like 20 pixels? Okay, now you'll notice that something's starting to happen. We're starting to clip on the top and the bottom. And we don't want that. We want this image to be a little bit bigger. So instead of doing margin top, we're just going to take that out. Can we make this image any bigger? Or can we swap these? So let's make the height 100%. And I'm just showing you ways of debugging this, right? So you're going to be like, nothing's ever going to be the same. So how do we figure this up? So I made the height 100%. And now look what we have. So if we look at this, now the image looks better, right? And this one down here is okay, but this one needs to be moved over just a little bit. Okay, and you can also change the height. It doesn't have to be 100%. We could say it's 90%. And if you look at it now, it's smaller, but it's clipping. Okay, so we definitely want this to be 100%. And if we look at our XD file, they're both kind of moved over just a little bit. So I'm going to go to my code. And what if we put like margin left? We put a negative like 20 pixels and we just see what that looks like. Okay, and it's starting to move a little bit, which is great. Let's go a little bit more. Okay, there we go. This is in the center now, or getting close. Here's our butter, it's off to the edge. If we look at our XD file, notice it's off to the edge. It could probably come just a little bit more. Let's try it. It's negative 50, let's just do negative 60. Which was almost the same as the top, right? And now you look, this is in the center and this one's off. How easy was that for the products page? Again, I was just showing you different ways and how to figure out how to debug and add something else. Now we didn't change much of the class at all inside of here, and this would still work, but now you have an extra class if you need it to move it left or right. And this is basically our products page. So the last page to do is just and I say it's the contact page. And this shouldn't be that hard. It's basically 4 inputs and some labels and a form. That's it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, wrap up this products page and move on to the contact.